Hello friends, so in today's tutorial we'll be looking at how we can automatically resize all your images in a folder with Python. So if you rather read an article than hear me talk, I'll include the link for this Medium article in my description box below. Let's get started. So over here I kind of just wrote like a very simple main function with some very basic steps. So essentially what we want to do in this tutorial is basically read images given a folder, as you can see here, and then resize the images. After that, we want to write basically save the new resized images to a new folder named resized folder. Alright, so let's get started. What we want to do before that is, so before that, remember to install OpenCV Python. So if you don't have this, just run pip install OpenCV Python and you should be good to go. Alright, so let's get started for real this time. So we would want to kind of like tell the scripts where to look at for the images. So for the original images, we want to look into the original folder and then new resized folder. Let's call it resized folder. Alright, that looks fine. And now we can start reading the images. So the file name in So for OpenCV, there's this function called image read, imread. So what that does is read an image. I'm sorry. It's hard to talk when I'm typing. File name. So now you have the image here. What you want to do after that is, if image is not none, we want to call the image resize function. Is equals to image resize. Note that we don't have the function yet, so you know what, let's just write that now. Okay, it's giving me error, so I'm just gonna like throw something random here to stop the error thing. Alright, so image resize, yes. So over here we want to note like what parameters we want to pass in, right? So the very first thing we have to pass in is basically the original image, because we want to kind of like do some operations on it. So the image itself, and then basically when it comes to resizing an image, we can resize it by width, height, or both, right? So we'll be passing in the width and the height, but I'm just gonna set it to none so that users can have the choice to pass in both one or none. And in the script, we want to be set. Basically what we want to do is to first get the dimensions, and then figure out new dimensions, and lastly resize it with OpenCV, right? So how we can do that is to first set dimensions, declare it first, and then with image.shape we can basically get the height and current height and width of the original image. And how we want to figure out the new dimensions is this is kind of confusing, sorry, let me just delete this on hindsight, because I kind of want to list out the conditions for each case. So there are 4 situations, right? So the first one is if width and height are both none, that means a user doesn't set any new width and height, we can just return the original image. And then if width is passed in, third, if height is passed in, lastly is if both height and width are passed in. So this we don't keep aspect ratio. Alright, so let's start coding in for each of the 4 conditions. So if both width and height is none, we can just return the original image and not, resize it. Next, if the width is passed in, means we only pass in the width parameter without the height parameter, right? So what that means is we have to kind of calculate what the height should be, new height should be based on the aspect ratio. So ratio will be equal, I forgot the elif condition. So width is passed in means height is none. What we want to do is calculate first the ratio, aspect ratio, flow, W for width over here, from over here, the original width of the image, and then the dimensions will be set to, basically we want to take the original width times the aspect ratio to calculate the new height. What am I doing? Hang on. No, wait. So this should be width instead. And then we want to calculate this. Yes. Hang on. Let me check. Right. This is right. Sorry about that. And then else if width is none, because that means, only the height is passed in. Yes. The ratio will now we need to calculate the ratio based on the height parameter that got passed in, right? So float h dimensions, we know the height because it's passed in, but now we need to calculate the new width. So it'll be W times ratio, comma, height. Alright, that looks fine. Alright, so for the last condition, else both width and heights are passed in, we want to just directly set it to the new width and height without caring about the aspect ratios. Alright, so now that we have the dimensions all set, we can just use the OpenCV resize function. Oh man. And then the image, the new dimensions, and interpolation. Alright, so when it comes to this parameter interpolation, you actually have a few choices. So if we just do a quick Google of OpenCV interpolation resize, we can see that according to their official docs, there are a few methods that you can use. Hang on, there's a better link actually. So over here it says preferable interpolation methods here for shrinking, and this for zooming. So you can use this for all resizing purposes, but you know, I plan to shrink my images, so I'm using this. Alright, back to the codes. Okay, so now that we've resized the images, we want to just return the resized image from our resize image function. Image resize function. Alright, so just delete away this. And now, for example, let's just try it out. Maybe we want to just resize the height to 100, let's say. Okay, so what now? We want to kind of write this image to our new folder. So let's just give it a new file name. Name equals new resized folder plus the original file name. So the last function from OpenCV that we're going to use is imWrite, image write, new file name, comma, new resized image. Alright, so let's run it and see what happens. I really hope this works. Okay. Oh man. Oh, hang on, what happened? Okay, so it did save, as we can see here, it did resize all the images from this, but it didn't go into our desired folder. Oh, I'm missing a slash here. Okay, let's try it again. Delete away these. Let's try it again and hope it works. Aha, there we go. So it has all the original image names and it went into this resized folder. Alright, so that's it for today's tutorial. Thank you guys so much for watching. Oh, whoops, I should have written it inside here, but it's fine, I guess. Thank you guys for watching and I hope to see you guys soon. Thank you!